In this video, I'll look at the different types of network topologies. A topology is how devices on the network are laid out. There are many topologies available when setting up a network. I'm going to talk about some of the most common. The first topology is a bus topology in the top left. This is where all devices are connected to one central cable. All the packets being sent between the computers travel down the central cable, then come off the cable at the correct device. The advantage of this is it requires a small length of cable to connect all the devices. As there is less cable needed, this will save money. The disadvantage is it can only be used on a small network. When more computers are added to a network, they will still be using the same cable. With all the traffic going down the cable, there will be more and more collisions, resulting in packets being lost, making the network slower. The next is the ring topology, which is in the top right corner. All the computers are connected to each other, forming a ring. Each computer will connect to the next one. The advantage of this network is the cost, because each computer is connected to the computer next to it, so there's not a lot of cable. Another advantage is the data is always flowing one way around the network, so there's only a small chance the packets will collide. The disadvantages are if one computer fails and the whole network is affected. For example, if the link was broken between computers 1 and 2, then the data would have to go all the way around to the right to connect to computer 2. The packets will have to travel the other way around the network, increasing the time it takes for a packet to get from one side of the network to the other. When adding a new device, the same thing will happen, as the device will have to be taken out the network, so data will have to travel the other way. The next is a full mesh topology, which is in the bottom left corner. The advantage of this, every device in the full mesh topology is connected to each other. The advantage of this is if a computer goes down, but the rest of the network is not affected, as they can still reach all the other computers on the network. If there is lots of traffic on the network, the packets have multiple routes to go down. The packets can go down a cable which is not being used, or has less traffic on it. The disadvantage of this network is its cost. The amount of cables needed will cost a lot of money, but also the computers will need extra ports installed for the multiple cables to fully connect the network. The final topology is the star, which is in the bottom right. The star is laid out in a star shape. Each device is one cable and is directly connected to a central device. This device could be a switch, hub, or router. The star is the most used topology in the world. It is used on most home networks, as every device is connected directly to the router to access the internet. The advantage of this topology is that if a device fails, then the rest of the devices are unaffected. Only the connection to that one device is lost. For example, if this connection here was lost, the rest of the network would be unaffected. Just this device down here in the bottom left would be affected and wouldn't be able to access the network. The disadvantage is that more cable is needed to connect each device individually, and the major disadvantage is if the central device goes down, then all access to the network is lost. There is no way for the devices to communicate to each other. On my network, I use the star topology. I did not use a bus topology in the main office because it could not handle the large number of devices needed in that office. I did not use it at the branch office. I thought if the company expands, they may want to add more computers to this network for new users. A bus topology may have been suitable now, however in the future the network would have slowed down due to the amount of new users and new devices on the network. The server side does not use a bus topology. All devices on the network would need to be connected here connecting here constantly to access the resources on the servers. But one central cable will not be able to handle the traffic for all 4 servers, which are used constantly. The ring topology was not used because if one device goes down, the whole network would be affected and slowed down. It would not work in the main office with such a large amount of devices. 1 or 2 will fail at some point in any network. A device will go down. It is better to use the star, so when those devices do fail, the rest of the network will be unaffected. The full mesh was not used due to the cost. It would cost too much to make for the 12 devices. In the branch office, if the company wanted to add more devices and the full mesh was used, they would have to consider the cost for cables, as well as cost for ports in their new devices. The star topology is the safest way to go. If a device does fail, the rest of the network will be unaffected. It will be easy to add more devices per network in the future, as they just need to be connected to the switch. Covered everything I wanted to. That's it for this video.